Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, November 23rd. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Ryan Robinson back in the house here with us today as well. It is a massive slate, 15 games on tap, all but 2 teams in action here on this Saturday in the NHL, so it's a massive card. That's why we're going to really cut the recap short. Really not much to say. Winnipeg beat Pittsburgh. They're the better team. They proved it. Nothing more to say than that. And team total over hits for the best bet. Happy with that. Buffalo Anaheim did sprinkle. Actually, for a card I hated, it didn't turn out that bad. You know, we had the Jets. We had the Jets regulation or -1. We had the Jets team total. We had a sprinkle on the draw with Buffalo Anaheim and the Sabres. How about a nice start to this West Coast road trip for them as they beat Anaheim in overtime? Back-to-back wins against the Kings and the Ducks to start the road trip. And don't look now, Buffalo's playing some solid hockey. They've been on a nice little run the last week or so. Starting to play better. I'm always hesitant to buy in on this team because just when you're ready to believe that they rip your heart out, that's been the way it's been for the last 20 years. But nevertheless, credit to the Buffalo Sabres playing some solid hockey and off to a great start on this road trip. But I do think they're in a tricky spot, tough spot tonight, which we'll get into later against the San Jose Sharks. Alex, anything to say about Friday?
Well, Sidney Crosby watch will continue into tonight. Didn't get a goal, and Pittsburgh looks like the bad team that they are. Like I said, Winnipeg. That was a win.
What would be the odds he would of him getting into a fight over a goal last night? Yeah,
yeah, right. Yeah. But Winnipeg, now Winnipeg, you got to continue playing at this level, right? You're supposed to win 4-1 against Pittsburgh, even on the road. You're one of the top teams in the entire league right now. Continue playing that way, and if they can, like I said, get through this storm of this road trip, then everything that we've said about Winnipeg so far would stand a little bit more firm in stone. Is that this is a top team in the West, and we have to deal with them, and everybody in the West has to deal with them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no question. Ryan, anything to add for what we saw in the 2 games last night?
Yeah, not really. I was out of the house a bit, so I didn't really pay attention. I saw that Winnipeg did what they were expected to do, and then Buffalo squeaked by Anaheim. So nothing last night. I followed along a little bit on Twitter, but I didn't have any bets last night. I wasn't too interested in those games.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Sidney Crosby and Kyle Connor. Didn't know if anyone had that on their dance card last night as far as a fight. It wasn't much of a fight. It was kind of like hand slapping, it kind of looked like. But nevertheless, good on them. These are 2 guys that obviously don't do that very often.
And those are 2 guys, you don't mind them slapping and skirmishing around, right? Like, we don't want these 2 guys breaking their hands in a fist fight. Like that. That's okay. I don't want second line guys who like to run around and take dirty liberties at players. The third line guys, you know who I'm talking about, like a Nick Cousins type. Yeah, they run around, hit somebody, and then they want to slap around, keep their gloves on. That shit pisses me off. But a Crosby, and Connor fight, get rough and tumble, but they don't have to really throw the hands. That's fine. That's exception to the rule.
I fully believe Mike Sullivan and Scott Arniel would agree that, let's not have those 2 guys get hurt. 2 of our best players.
I would love to see, but wouldn't you love to see an old school throwback, just Ovechkin, I think, is the last real goal scorer to just chuck hands in a fight. But that would be cool to see sometimes. I would love to see Patrick Kane once in his career get into a real fight. That would be kind of fun to see. So.
That would be. There's no question. All right, we got a huge slate. Huge. 15 games. That's why we tried to cut the recap short, because it's going to take us damn near, not 2 hours, but it might be close to get through all these games here today on this Saturday. We will begin with the first of 3 matinee games this afternoon. Chicago and Philadelphia. We've got the Flyers -165 home favorites, 6 being the total. 6 heavily shaded to the under, though. So much so that I think if it falls any more, it's going to be 5.5 in some spots. So it is definitely a heavy shade to the under as far as this total here at 6. The Blackhawks, much needed. You talk about a team that was desperate to get a win, desperate for some good positive vibes. They finally got that, and they got it against the defending Stanley Cup champions, one of the best teams in the NHL the other night. A very solid victory for Chicago to take care of business against Florida. Now, can they follow that up? That's the big question. The team is still just 7-13 on the season. Can they now follow it up and put 2 good wins in a row together, something that hasn't happened in a while for this Blackhawks team? On the flip side, you got the Philadelphia Flyers coming off a loss to the Colorado Avalanche in their last game. They'll be looking to bounce back from that. I think when you look at the situation here for Philly, not a team I trust in this price range. They're going with Alexei Kolosov, and you know the little jingle for those of you that know Sokolov lawyers here in Toronto area. Don't put it off, fade Sokolov, or fade Kolosov in this case. That is what we've been doing, and this guy hasn't won a start yet this year. So no Philly for me at this price with a guy I don't trust in net, a guy that is obviously 0-4, doesn't have really good numbers either so far this season, 3.72 goals against, 872 save percentage. Look, I get it. Trusting the Chicago Blackhawks to win 2 in a row is not easy. But to get the day started, we did have a couple of little small sprinkle type bets with Chicago in the draw, just based on this price being where it is. You're just looking at a Philadelphia team that seems like when they start to get a little good momentum going, they take a step backward. And again, we're talking about a goalie in net for them here that's winless so far on the season as well. So, yeah, for me here, it's just going to be small bets just to get the day started. Chicago, little piece of the draw here as well. Alex, anything you like here with your Blackhawks taking on the Flyers?
Yeah, draw pregame, but everything else will be live. If I see some pace early, we're already seeing the 5.5s pop up now. So 5.5 minus 120 is available at Fan or MGM and Caesars, or 118 at FanDuel. So we can get plus money with 5.5. We can get plus money with 1. We should be able to get big plus money, like plus 125, 130 with 1.5, just waiting if we see pace in the first couple of minutes. Definitely do like the draw, like I said, with Kolosov. And then the Hawks in the day game start on the road. This is not a good road team. They haven't been a good road team for a while. Early starts have been a little sluggish. And in Philly, this is a Hawks team that's only won 3 regular season games in Philly since 1996. Now, they did win last year. They won, I think, back in 2021. But this has been a house of horrors mostly for the Hawks. So, like I said, this could be one of those games that kind of goes over the total and then sneaks into overtime. So, definitely looking at that, like I said, draw plus 360 now, and then everything in game.
Yeah, this is just a price play. I just feel in this particular game, well,
no, I think he froze. So, what are you looking at in this game?
Yeah, honestly, I'm staying off. I think just with how many games there are today, there's so many options and things I do like. I agree. There is, the price point is solid, but just trusting Chicago to win back-to-back games. Not sure if I can do that. And then also don't really love the Flyers minus 165. So if it does drop to 5.5, or, like you mentioned, the live look in the first period, and as the game goes on, just because it's an early game, I will be watching and look for some live looks, but pregame, I'm going to stay off everything just because there are so many games and spots that I do like. I don't really have a great feel on this one, if Chicago can win back-to-back. So I'm just going to stay off pregame and then watch for some live plays.
Yeah, it's not a bad suggestion. This is, again, to me, this is just a price play on a goalie that struggled in a minus 165 price range. Is not something I'm fine taking a shot against, although I'm fully aware of Chicago's issues winning back-to-back games. I'm fully aware of Chicago's issues on the road. And that's obviously something they've got to overcome here if they're going to win.
And the offense. This is where it's annoying, because this should be a slam dunk Blackhawks spot if they had their offense rolling. This is you got your better goalie in that in Mrazek, who has played very well, coming off of a win and starting a road trip. This should be a slam dunk spot, but you can't trust the damn offense.
Especially with Jason Dickinson, a game time decision, the trooper.
Yeah, he hurt his hand, and he was playing with. He actually hurt his hand in the middle of the game, which great to know once you have a bargain bin on him. But then he played through it, and still skated some minutes. So even if he's playing, he's not at 100%. He's your best scorer right now.
Yeah, no question about that. So, like I said, if he plays, I'm interested in a goal prop in him. But again, that remains to be seen if he will be in the lineup for the Blackhawks here today. All right, next up, the next afternoon game. This is at 4 p.m. Eastern. Seattle, Los Angeles. We've got the Kings minus 165, home favorites, 5.5 the total. It's kind of like the last game. I just feel Seattle at this price is worth a look. I mean, LA in this price range. Now, the only thing I don't like is the Kings got shut out and blanked 1-0 by the Buffalo Sabres in their last home game. So you would expect focus on this Seattle team for this game. But again, when we talk about the Kings in this price range, I'm not exactly rushing, to back them here. Joey Decord should be in net here for Seattle. I do like the way he's been playing lately in between the pipes for the Kraken. Meanwhile, you look at LA, it's probably going to be David Riddick again as Darcy Kemper remains on IR. That should be the goalie matchup for the Kings here. I think Seattle won in LA the last time they went there as well, if you look back at recent series history as well. So this to me is just, again, the favorite is just a little bit overpriced in my opinion. Same thing I believe with the Philly game earlier. So actually, I think I like Seattle a little bit more than I trust Chicago in the other game. So I definitely like Seattle here at this price. To me, if Kings bring their A game, but Seattle brings their A game, this should not be minus 165 on the LA side. What do you think here, Alex? Seattle, LA?
Well, this is one of the games where I am running with system play one. I do like that first period over at very cheap price, minus $1.05 already. 5.5 at minus $1.10. So I will be on system play one, but not really trusting the sides. And like you said, for that reason, I think this game could really just kind of be back and forth. So this is a game where I don't want anything to do with side, nothing with a draw either. Just staying with the overs.
Yeah, this is another dog look for me, just because I think the favorite's just a little tad not mispriced, but just a little bit too big of a favorite here, LA. And yeah, system play. Totally forgot to mention that. Of course, we saw in the last game, LA ended up getting blanked by Buffalo. That is the system play. LA's coming off the shutout loss here in this game to the Buffalo Sabres. So yes, over 1.5 first period, over 5.5 full game.
And I get this trepidation. The trepidation looking at Seattle overs right now because that's another team where the most schizophrenic offense in the league. But they it seems like after a few games of just 1 or 2 goals, then that's when they pop out for 5 or more. So maybe this could be the game they break out.
Yeah, it's not a game I like the system for either, Aaron. I don't love this. This feels like Seattle-Nashville Part 2, maybe, where there's a system play, but it stayed under both times. This could be that type of game as well, but it's a system. You got to roll with it, and unless the system just completely face plants long term moving forward and goes on.
I was say we're at a clip. We're at a deep enough clip now to where we can be selective with system plays. I don't think we have to run everything every night. I wouldn't like for tonight. There's some system plays that I won't have on my card. This is one I do like, just because I think we could see some higher pace from a day game. We've seen Seattle at least play faster in day games. I don't know if you've noticed that compared to some of the other East Coast teams. Seattle's the team that brings that pace early. Even look at how the season game started, the regular season game. They play well in these early start times, and that's something that you kind of worry about more with the West Coast teams. Some West Coast teams don't play well on the road and early, so that's one thing about Seattle.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and I saw that even last week with the Islanders and the Kraken, especially early. There was some really good pace in that game. Early, and that was a day game. Late afternoon game like this one is for Seattle. Early afternoon, obviously, on the West Coast. But, yeah, definitely similar type of pace. A little bit more of a quicker pace than maybe we would see otherwise if it was a night game, for example. Ryan, anything you like here? Kraken Kings.
Yeah, another game. I'm going to stay off the sides at the start just because of other spots that I like in other games. But I do like that. I'm going to take a small chance on that first period over just because LA did get shut out last game. They, like Bailey mentioned, they do need a W. They're at home. It's a day game. So I think they're going to want to come out hot. And then I also might take a shot. I'm leaning towards the over at 5.5 just because it is 5.5. As Alex mentioned, Seattle's been struggling, but, this could be the game that they break out. And especially since LA got shut out last game, they're going to want to come out fast, come out hot. And Seattle's going to have to match that intensity. So I'm going to take a small shot on a first period over, and I'm also leaning to the over 5.5 right now in this game.
All right, next up, Minnesota and Calgary. We've got the Wild minus 140 road favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. What a homestand in progress right now for the Calgary Flames. 3 straight wins at home against Nashville, the New York Islanders, which were good wins, but then they took it up a notch with the way they played against a very good New York Rangers team the other night. 3-2, they outshot the Rangers 49-29. They looked like they were the quicker team with the better offense, and I think we kind of hinted at that in the recap of that game. I was just so impressed with Calgary and the way they played. They took it to the New York Rangers. It was another great solid effort in net from Hungry Like the Wolf, from Dustin Wolf once again, but we may not see Dustin Wolf today. There's some hints that we might see Vladar in net, Dan Vladar for the Calgary Flames, who's actually got some solid numbers himself, 2.65 goals against, 906 save percentage, but certainly not nearly as good as what we have seen from Dustin Wolf. So keep an eye on that maybe we'll see Dan Vladar instead in net for the Flames here. We should see Philip Gustafson here for Minnesota. They gave Marc-Andre Fleury the start against Edmonton, but no problem. Still a victory for Minnesota, 5-3 in that game. This is a tricky one because I'm telling you what, it's not easy to bet against Minnesota on the road. We talked about this. Minnesota was a best bet for me against Edmonton. Great price, great spot, I thought. And they came through 9-1-2 now on the road for the Minnesota Wild this year. But this Calgary team, I don't want to bet against them right now at home. However, I wouldn't be betting on them either, especially if we indeed see Dustin Wolf getting a rest here in this game today. I do like the draw a little bit. I think I might sprinkle on that. We've talked about these are 2 teams that we expect to play pretty close game here. 3 of the last 7 head-to-head meetings, Wild versus Flames, have gone past regulation. The Flames have become a little bit of a draw machine here the last 8 games. Half of their last 8 games, 4 of their last 8 have gone past regulation. So, again, we're going to wait to see the lineups before we lock everything in for this game. But as of right now, I'm pretty sure I'll be on the draw, regardless of who's in net for either side. Alex, what do you think here? Wild Flames.
Yeah, I'll add draw to that. I like the over here. I think more than likely we will see Vladar in net. That's what I'm seeing confirmed, at least by goalie posts. So that's kind of the way I'm going to be looking at it. It's going to be Wolf unders and Vladar overs if I'm talking about Calgary totals moving forward. Yep. And with Minnesota playing well on the road, I think that, like I said, that offense is stable enough. And this could be one of those games, like I said, gets over and finds its way to creeping into overtime kind of a thing. So I'll play the overtime draw a little bit smaller, but I do like that over 5.5. I got minus $1.20.
And the thing, it's important to note about the fact you like over 5.5. I actually lean 5. I do think I'll bet over 5.5 if it's Vladar too, because he's not quite delivering what Wolf is. And if you actually look at Minnesota on the road here in the month of November, they've played 5 road games. Take out the Chicago game on the road, all their other road games have had at least 6 goals.
Right.
At least 6. The game at San Jose, 5-2. The game at Anaheim, 5-2. The game at St. Louis, 4-2. And, of course, the other night against Edmonton, it was 5-3. So every road game for Minnesota here in the month of November has gone, well, not over, but has gotten to at least 6 goals, which is what counts here and what matters here, with this total being 5.5. So I'm kind of with you. I think the over 5.5. And if you look at Calgary against the Rangers, that game had no business staying under. I'll take the money. I'll take the win. We both will, Alex, being on that under, but we talked about it. That was a game where 49 shots for Calgary, 29 for the Rangers. There were chances galore. The goaltending on both sides was exemplary in that game. That easily could have went over the total. Certainly expected goals pointed to more goals than the 5 that got scored the other night against the in the Rangers Flames game. So I think the 5.5, if we do see no Wolf today, especially, that's probably worth a look in this game. What do you think here, Ryan? Minnesota, Calgary.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm liking that 5.5, especially if it's not Wolf and net. I honestly leaned Minnesota. I like the value with Calgary as well, though. They're at home. They've won 3 in a row. They're hot, but it's too tough to bet against Minnesota right now. And then also with Calgary being hot, it makes it tough to pick a side. But I do like that 5.5. I think there could be goals early and often, and especially if Kaprizov stays hot and stuff like that. this Minnesota team has some, even with missing Zuccarello, they have some firepower. So I think I like that 5.5, and that's the only thing I'm going to be on pregame in terms of totals.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. As far as props go for this game, again, it should be an interesting one, but you certainly look at, who's someone that to really keep an eye on here. Everyone talks Joel Eriksson, Kaprizov, Matt Boldy from Minnesota, and rightfully so. But Freddie Gaudreau, he had 2 goals against Edmonton. He's picked up a little bit offensively lately for Minnesota, someone to keep in mind there. No question about that. And I'm going to go back to the well with Matt Coronato, who came on strong when he first got the call up. Got back off a little bit of a slump here with a goal against the Rangers the other night. So Matt Coronato's got a lot of skill for Calgary. We'll take a shot maybe that he can find the back of the net here tonight for or this afternoon, I should say, for the Calgary Flames in their game against Minnesota. So those are the afternoon games. Next game, one of the great games on the card today for sure, Colorado and Florida. We've got the Panthers minus 125 home favorites. The total here sitting at 6, shaded to the over. In this game, Florida now entering off back-to-back losses. Not that shocked that they lost to Winnipeg in a revenge spot for the Jets after they got thumped in Florida, but losing to Chicago, that was pretty surprising. But you give the Blackhawks credit. You give Mrazek credit, who was very good in that game. We'll see if Florida can bounce back here off a mini little 2-game losing streak coming into this game. One thing we have not seen, I believe, yet from the Panthers this season, and I now can confirm that, they have not lost 3 straight games this season, the Florida Panthers. 2 has been their longest losing streak. They've had 2 previous 2-game losing streaks. They lost at Ottawa and Buffalo early in the year, and then they beat Boston to snap that skid. They just lost back-to-back to New Jersey about 10 days ago, and then they, of course, beat Winnipeg at home 5-0 after that. So they've been a very good stop-the-bleeding team. They've been a very good stop the losing streak before it balloons into something bigger. They've been very good at that. I am going to take Florida here minus 125 in this game. I mean, Colorado, nice win in their last game. 2 games ago, they beat Philly. Last game, they beat Washington. First game without Alex Ovechkin. They did what they had to do. I still don't think they were overly impressive in that game, but I just trust the character of this Florida team. They've shown it over and over and over again. One of the reasons why they won a Stanley Cup, great character in the dressing room, not wanting to let a slump prolong itself. And so, especially with this price moving a little bit, yeah, I do like Florida now at minus 125. Georgiev is expected but not confirmed in net for Colorado, and we already have a confirmation of Sergei Bobrovsky, as we pretty much expected, in net here for Florida. Alex, what do you think here? Avs, Panthers.
This is one I'm just going to wait and watch and look for live spots. You know, with this being a large card, there's a couple of games throughout the night that I'll have just circle for live action only. So nothing pregame. Just will be, watching and observing. This is awfully cheap price for a Florida team based on how, I have Colorado ranked. But like I said, this could be a trickier spot. So I want to see how it plays out early before I jump in.
I don't know if this is going to be in the minds of Colorado and something that maybe you could think of that, hey, maybe they're really coming out loaded for bear here tonight because of the fact Florida beat them like a drum last year in both meetings. I especially remember the one in Denver where Florida went in there and beat them 8-4. I remember that because I really liked Florida in that spot, and I didn't think it was going to be something like that. I thought maybe they'll win a close game, but not 8-4. And then they turned around and they shut out Colorado in the rematch in Florida 4-0. So obviously the Avs had a really tough time. I mean, outscored 12-4 in the 2 meetings last year against the Florida Panthers. But I don't think they're getting Florida at the right time here with Florida off these back-to-back losses to the Jets and the Blackhawks. Ryan, what do you think here, Colorado, Florida?
Yeah, I really, really like Florida in this spot. As you mentioned, they haven't lost 3 straight. I felt good about them at home against Winnipeg after they lost those back-to-back games in New Jersey, and I think they won 5-0 or something. This is a group that, as you mentioned, they're mature. They know how to win. They know how to bounce back. They haven't been great in their last 5 games, but I think it's a good spot for them, especially after losing to Chicago. They're gonna be pissed off at home. It's a spot I really like. So I'm on Panthers money line, as well as taking a smaller shot on Florida team total over 3.5. Especially if Georgiev is starting. I don't trust Georgiev at all. So plus 120 for that 3.5. But I feel good about Florida here. I might look at Tkachuk anytime goal. I see there's Barkov multi-points in 4 of last 6 versus Avs. I think that might be worth a shot as well. So I feel good about Florida here at home. I know Colorado's had some nice wins the last few games. They're getting healthier, but for the defending Stanley Cup champs at home who lost to a team they were expected to beat, I think this is a good revenge spot, good bounce back spot for them. So I like Florida minus 125 here a lot.
All right, Florida for Ryan here. I agree. I mean, it's for a team that hasn't lost 3 in a row. Pretty good home record too, 6-3. And the good thing about Florida is they're good on the road. They're good at home. 6-4 on the road, 6-3 at home. So they can win anywhere, when they play their best game. There's no doubt. And I would expect after 2 straight losses, you see focus and from Paul Maurice's crew here in this one. As far as props go for this game, certainly the Barkov's had a lot of success, as Ryan mentioned, against this team. There's no doubt. Bennett, someone that I think might be starting to heat up just a little bit. On the Colorado side of the equation, we've talked about Drouin and Nichushkin being back. But the one person to keep an eye on is because he's been shooting the puck a lot more lately and scoring goals lately is Cale Makar. He had 2 against Philly. He's had, I believe, 4 in the last 8 or 9 games. Just something to keep in mind. I'm noticing Cale Makar is definitely firing the puck a lot more. And as a result, goal props for him at the moment might be worth a look. All right, Winnipeg. They were in action last night. They got a 4-1 win against Pittsburgh. Cashed -1 puck line and team total bet for me last night. They go to Music City to take on the Nashville Predators tonight. Nashville -130. Home favorites. Total in this one, 6 shaded to the over in this matchup. Back-to-back, obviously, for the Jets after being in Pittsburgh last night. So that explains why Nashville is a home favorite here and taking the money. At least explains it a little bit. But, even with the spot disadvantage, even with the likelihood that we are going to see Eric Comrie get the start tonight in between the pipes for the Winnipeg Jets, I fully expect he will get the nod tonight and give Hellebuck a rest. Saros expected for Nashville. Even with that being the case, it's very difficult to lay -130 with anybody, quite honestly, against Winnipeg here in this game tonight. I mean, with the way they've been playing. And we know with Nashville, they're still trying to get on some kind of a run, which basically has eluded them this year in this 6-14 start. They get shut out in their last game, 3-0 by the Seattle Kraken. Certainly they'll be looking to bounce back here. Meanwhile, Winnipeg, the nice 4-1 win last night. We'll see if they can carry that over here into this game. This is a system play for me. I didn't bet the side, but I'm telling you what, look, sometimes the team can overcome the goalie. We know Comrie is not Hellebuck. But this is a very good Jets team. They're scoring. Their power play has been great. Their defensive game's been very good. Even with Comrie and net, it's like they can certainly still find a way to win this game. And it's plus the fact Nashville has obviously had issues and obviously had struggles throughout the course of the season. So I'm certainly not betting Nashville. I'm probably not betting Winnipeg either, but I'm telling you what, I feel like Winnipeg +110 with this tremendous record of theirs now at 17-3 this season and a great road record. I mean, think about this. Nashville's only 4-6 at home. Winnipeg's 8-2 on the road. I mean, so certainly on the road, this team has been able to win games and get the job done. So, yeah, I wouldn't be laying a price with Nashville, put it this way. For now, I'm just on the system play here. Of course, Nashville getting shut out 3-0 in their last game. So the system plays in effect. Over 1.5 first period, over 6 for the full game. This might be a game, too, I tack on the over trifecta. Because I could see Winnipeg scoring in the first period. They've often been a good starting team this year. But if Comrie's in net, that could open the door for Nashville to get a quick goal early in the first 20 minutes. So I might turn this into an over trifecta and pop the and tack on the both teams to score in the first period in this game as well. Ryan, what do you think here? Winnipeg, Nashville.
Yeah, I like the value with Winnipeg. Even if Comrie's playing, Nashville hasn't been great. They're still continuing to struggle at home. So +110, I think, is good value. I might even take a shot at, I don't know. I think I'm just going to stay on Jets money line for now. Maybe look at some live looks depending on how it starts. If it starts fast, if it starts slow, and the over drops to 5.5. early, but I like Winnipeg plus 110. I think that's great value for a team that's been as hot as they are, and Nashville hasn't shown anything lately to to be minus 130 favorites against Winnipeg. So I'm just riding with Jets money line.
Go Jets money line here for Ryan in this one, even with the back-to-back. I mean, it's true. I mean, this is a price that's a little surprising. I get it, right? Winnipeg's on a back-to-back, and I get it. Hellebuck's not going to start in all likelihood. But boy, Winnipeg plus 110 in this game is a little bit of a eyebrow raiser. Let's put it that way. Alex, what do you think here? Jets, Predators.
Yeah, I grabbed draw plus 350 this morning, but this is one where I'll be looking for those totals in game, even if it is Comrie confirmed 6.5, 6.5. We can wait and have that drop. I don't think there's going to be a goal right away. So I will be on the over by factors in game if it is Comrie confirmed for sure. But draw was a play regardless.
All right, good stuff. As far as Vladislav Nemesnikov, I'll throw this out there as a bit of an under-the-radar goal prop tonight for Winnipeg. Scored last night. He's actually scored 3 goals in the last 6 games for the Winnipeg Jets. So keep an eye on him. He is someone that's been chipping in as if. And look, that's what makes Winnipeg right now very tough to beat. I mean, when you got Nemesnikov, all of a sudden now starting to score some goals, in addition to what you usually get from Ehlers and what you usually get from Scheifele and obviously Connor, it makes them even more difficult to beat when you're getting some of the supporting cast like that start to step up offensively. All right, Carolina and Columbus. Next up, we've got Carolina minus 240, road favorites. The total 6.5 here in this game. Carolina, they were in the tough back-to-back situation in their last game against the New Jersey Devils. Remember, they beat Philadelphia the night before on Wednesday. Then they played Jersey on Thursday. They lose that game 4-2. Only the 5th loss this season for the Carolina Hurricanes. And Carolina is a team that has yet to lose 2 games in a row. That tells you how good they have been here in the regular season. But unfortunately, the price is minus 240. So you can't go that route with Carolina here in this game if you want to bet them off a loss. And, of course, undefeated they are off a loss this season. Columbus, though, I mean, I'm telling you what, this is a feisty, scrappy bunch. And they make mistakes defensively. Penalty kill still stinks, by the way, for Columbus. That's something they do need to fix, and they do need to address that. That penalty kill has got to be better. They've given up at least a power play goal in 5 straight games now entering this matchup against Carolina. And Carolina's got a pretty decent power play, pretty good power play. But Columbus has won 3 of their last 4. They beat Pittsburgh at home. A crazy shootout at the OK Corral unfolded with Tampa Bay the other night, 7-6. The Jackets get the win in overtime with Merzlikins versus Johansson, the matchup in goal that night. Dean Evason's going back to Merzlikins here tonight. And like I said, he gave up 6 in that game. It'll be interesting to see if Merzlikins can step up and play better. But certainly coming off that performance against the Tampa Bay Lightning, I've got my doubts. Pyotr Kochetkov will get the nod here for the Carolina Hurricanes as expected. Anderson's out indefinitely. They gave Martin the start against New Jersey because it was a back-to-back. Kochetkov, very strong his last 2 starts against Philly and St. Louis, giving up just 1 goal in both of those games. So he's been very solid. Of course, Alex and I are big fans, as you know. We think he should be the number 1 guy moving forward. You know what I'm going to look at here in this game is go back to the old reliable here. As far as Carolina team total, over 3.5, minus 140. To me, that's the obvious bet here. We like Carolina off a loss, but the only way to really take advantage of it is to go the team total route. And again, even with the loss to New Jersey, 4-2, this is a Carolina Hurricanes team that has scored at least 4 goals now in 12 of their last 14 games. So basically, in the last 14 games, you'd be 12-2. Betting Carolina team total over 3.5. So that's where I'm going. Carolina team total over 3.5 here. Alex, Hurricanes, Blue Jackets.
That's why some days I just wait until we do this show to look at a certain game. I didn't look at this game at all. And the one thing that stuck out was that, okay, I like Carolina, but there's no way I can back them. Yeah, laying 140 with that team total over, like I said, that's been one of their hot runs. So that's the only way that's really worth betting. I don't trust them. Like I said, we don't need to trust in Columbus's offense. I don't trust them they're one of those teams, right, that seems like if they empty the clip in a game like they did against Tampa, that they have 2 games where they may struggle to get 3 goals combined. Like they're that kind of squad. So yeah, playing it safe with the team total and laying that price is worth it in the spot.
Actually, at Pinnacle, which is one of my go-tos, if you can get a better price with it, minus 135 with the Carolina team total.
If you're so lucky enough to be able to get a Pinnacle account, then
that's true. Not all of us are, unfortunately, and that's a shame. But it's a reduced juice book, so obviously there's a lot of appeal for me using that one. But yeah, over minus 135, minus 140. Like I said, and when Carolina wins, how many? Like again, 12 of their last 14, they've scored at least 4 goals. So when they win, they score 4 goals. That's the question. Do we trust the Jackets D and do we trust Merzlikins, especially after what we saw against Tampa? It's hard to. What do you think here in this one, Ryan? Carolina, Columbus.
Yeah, I like that team total as well. That's pretty much the only total beyond. I got it at minus 140. Last time they lost, they won 3 straight and scored 4 goals. And Columbus isn't great defensively. I'm with Alex as well. I don't want to take a total here and having to worry about them chipping in, scoring 2-3 goals. So I'm going to just take that Carolina team total over 3.5. I feel really good about that. So that's pretty much all I'm taking in terms of totals pre-game.
Yeah. I like Columbus offensively. Absolutely, I do. How can you not? I mean, they've scored 6, 5, and 7, 3 of their last 4 games. But defensively, there's still ways to go for this group. There's no question about that. And we're seeing that. And I don't like the penalty kill numbers, especially when Carolina's power play is top 5 right now in the NHL. That's something they're going to have to be careful with. Maybe staying out of the box. Don't put your bad penalty kill on the ice. How do you do that? Don't take penalties. So that's probably something that they should consider. Just be disciplined tonight. Don't put yourself in a position to take those penalties against a team that could make you pay for it. All right, New Jersey and Washington. We've got the Devils minus 135 road favorites. 6 the total, shaded to the over here in this game. Someone in the chat mentioned it or asked about it, and I think someone I saw early in the show asking if this was indeed the mom's trip for New Jersey. I can confirm it is. It is the mom's trip for the New Jersey Devils. So that doesn't mean I'm definitely going to bet New Jersey, but it definitely means be careful betting against New Jersey. That is for sure. And after what I saw from Washington first game without Ovechkin, that's the spot I liked Washington against Colorado. Because so many times we see that team step up the first game without your best player or one of your best players. And Washington obviously lost that game to Colorado the other night. I'm not coming back to Washington tonight now. New Jersey on this mom's trip here. But I don't want to lay minus 135 against Washington either. So I'm not involved as far as that is concerned tonight, as far as the side goes in this game with the Devils and the Capitals. Devils, by the way, bounced back from their 4-0 shutout loss against Tampa to beat Carolina 4-2 in their last game. I'm going to take a small piece of the over by Fecta here, but I don't love it. I mean, I was not enamored with the Washington offensive performance first game without Ovi. Obviously, they got shut down. But, you still have to rely on a lot of these guys that have been good for them in the even with Ovi out. When Ovi, before he got hurt, we saw McMichael play great, step up. Strome been good. Protas been good. Go on down the list. And I can't really deny the series history. There's 4 straight overs between these two teams. They've already played each other twice this year, back in October, once in New Jersey, once in Washington. 5-3 and 6-5 were the final scores. For some reason, you get Devils versus Capitals, you get goals galore, and that's definitely been the way it's been. So for that reason, I'm on the over by Fecta, with some degree of hesitancy, though, because of the fact Washington, their first body of work without Ovechkin against Colorado, and the offense wasn't the same. Alex, what do you think here? Devils, Capitals.
I'm only going with the over 6 here. I'm staying away from the first period over in this one. I'm just, like I said, laying $1.18 at DraftKings. I do think that this could be one of those games that gets up and over late. It may not be a whole lot of goals early, so I could also, this could be one you want to play small and then add live. But like I said, with a lot of stuff, this won't be on my radar as far as viewing. So I'm just going to play this, with the amount of units pregame now. Over 6 minus 118.
All right, full game over only for Alex here with New Jersey and Washington. Ryan, how about you? Devils, Capitals.
Yeah, I like Devils money line. Honestly, it's just kind of a gut feeling. Minus 135. You saw Washington struggle a little bit last game without Ovi, so I like my minus 135. They had a good win last game, and also I like Jack Hughes anytime goal at plus 130. So I'm going to sprinkle on that as well.
Oh, this has been road team dominated this series. No question about that. To back up Ryan, who likes New Jersey here in this game. The history between these teams is Washington wins in New Jersey wins in Washington. You know, that's really the way it has been. And especially New Jersey and Washington. I think New Jersey has won 4 straight here in Washington against the Capitals. So, and you factor in the mom's trip, and you factor in that, you know, didn't love what I saw from the Capitals in the first game without Ovechkin. Now, maybe the offense turns it up here. They're capable of it. I'm sure that's going to be a focal point for Carberry and the coaching staff after the loss against Colorado. But certainly the series history is heavily saying that New Jersey on the road in Washington has done a great job. 4 straight wins head-to-head for the Devils over the Capitals. And I think we expect in this game to see Charlie Lindgren for Washington. He's confirmed. Sounds like it could be Jake Allen for New Jersey. I don't want to say for sure yet. It is confirmed. There you go.
Goalie folks had that confirmed. Yeah.
There you go. Jake Allen for New Jersey. So giving Jacob Markstrom a rest. Allen's capable, but a little more inconsistency from Allen than last year when he really played well down the stretch for New Jersey. Not quite seeing that same consistency from him here so far this year. All right. Is Joe Sacco going to take this Bruins team on a run now? He gets a win in his NHL head coaching, first game as an NHL head coach with the Bruins. Of course, he was coached with Colorado years ago, but first game behind the bench for the Bruins as the head coach. They beat Utah, although not pretty, but effective, 1-0. Now they travel to Detroit to take on the Red Wings. We've got the Bruins minus 140, road favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. I mentioned this with the Boston-Utah game. This feels like a team in like with what I saw against Utah, where low and slow is what they want right now. I think they know they're having a difficult time with their power play. They're having a difficult time generating offense consistently. We got to try to win a 2-1, 3-1 type of game right now. I think that's exactly what you're seeing from Boston. So even at 5.5, I don't think I can get there with an over here in this game tonight. Even though Detroit's a team that when you see 5.5, you kind of do want to bet the over. And you actually look at series history, and we've seen 3 straight overs for the last 5 between the Bruins and the Red Wings. But Detroit's offense has been up and down. Boston really having a hard time scoring goals. I still can't do it. Even this is one of those deals where I just can't solely rely on the series history. It's just difficult for me to say, yeah, let's bet over the total. Boston scored a grand total of 6 goals in their last 4 games combined. It's not exactly what you want to see. So I'm off this game. I'll take my win with Detroit the other night. System play number 2, betting on teams after losing to the San Jose Sharks. And that came through. Detroit with their comeback 2-1 win against the New York Islanders the other night. I'll take that. I'll Steve Miller band this game. Take the money and run. We're not coming back with Detroit here tonight. So maybe the draw, but nothing strong, honestly, in this game. I want to see more from Boston and see what game 2 looks like in the Sacco regime. What do you think here, Alex? Bruins, Red Wings.
Yeah, I love this draw. Plus 350. I grabbed this early this morning. I think this could be definitely one of those games that is a lockdown, shutdown. Not, like I said, not going to get crazy with trying to predict correct scores on some of these draws, but this would definitely be one where 2-2 and 3-3 at small shots, I think would be worth it. So draw plus 350 is my only strong bet here with Bruins and Wings.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Ryan, what do you think here in this one, Boston, Detroit?
Yeah, I might take a small shot with that draw as well. I like that angle. I also just kind of like gut feeling here. Might take I kind of like Detroit plus 120. They have been great, but just kind of one of those things. Boston, wanted to have a bounce back game last game. New head coach, a lot of emotion and energy and passion. So they bounced back and won that first game for Sacco, but I just kind of think they're gonna hit a wall again. So I kind of like Detroit here plus 120. I'm gonna take a small shot on them as well as Larkin anytime goal.
All right, yeah. If you're gonna bet any Detroit props, you better have Dylan Larkin in your portfolio right now. That's the one guy showing up every night for this team. The assist he made to get Raymond set up for the game winner was excellent last night. That was just all effort to win a puck battle in the corner along the boards, get the puck centered out front. And he made that goal happen. I know it was a great shot by Raymond, but that goal doesn't happen without the work put in by the captain, Dylan Larkin, on that goal. So, yeah, I mean, certainly if you're going to ask me right now, the only reason I'm not betting Detroit again here is because of the fact that we're talking about Boston. Can they get a couple wins? Can they get on a run with this coaching change, which we often see a lot of teams do that? We'll see. That's the only reason I'm off Detroit. But certainly if you're going to say at this price, it would only be Detroit for me, at plus 120 in this one. Aaron likes the over, and he's a Bruins fan. So I take his opinion of the Bruins with a great deal of respect. So he likes the over here, 5.5 with the Bruins. And the series history points that way, I'll tell you that. 3 straight overs head-to-head with the Boston Bruins and the Detroit Red Wings. All right, Vancouver, Ottawa, all-Canadian matchup here on Hockey Night in Canada. Ottawa minus 140, home favorites, 6 the total. Pretty much even money here in this game. I think I made a declaration a couple days ago on the Ice Guys show. We're going to be looking to make some money with the Vancouver Canucks on this road trip. Get out of there, get away from Vancouver. You play better on the road anyway, and I think you're going to see that. They were a great road team under Rick Tocchet last year. They're off to a very good start on the road this year as well. Ottawa, I don't know what's happened to Ottawa here, where it looked like that Toronto win was so good a couple weeks ago. They haven't won since. 4 straight losses, blowing a lead to Philly. That's no good. Shutout by Carolina is not, that's no shame in that, but still to not score a goal is disappointing against Carolina. Lose 5-2 to Edmonton when the Oilers were on a back-to-back on the road, and they get well courtesy of the Senators. Vegas, back-to-back on the road. They lost to Toronto the night before. They use Ottawa as a stepping stone to get back on track. There's not a lot to like right now with Ottawa. And Linus Ullmark is fighting the puck a little bit. I haven't loved his game. He hasn't been at peak form the last few games. Rangers, like I said, 6-1 on the road. Starting a road trip, focus spot. Price is good enough. I like Vancouver here, plus 120. I don't trust Ottawa here at all right now with what I'm seeing from them. Vancouver's got issues in terms of their own injuries, and Miller as well, of course, away from the team. But I'm telling you what, Vancouver on the road, good spot, good price. We'll back them here at plus 120 in this one. I actually like the over a little bit here as well in this game, because if you actually look at it, Vancouver, you're never quite sure what you're going to get night to night from them defensively, goaltending, and certainly Lankinen's been good, and I think he's going to get the start, but even he's had a couple shakier performances of late. Ullmark's not in great form right now, as I mentioned, for Ottawa in the last few games. So at 6, I do have a little bit of an interest in over here with the Canucks and the Senators as well. Alex, what do you think here, Vancouver, Ottawa?
Yeah, just playing a small bit on Vancouver because, like you said, it's just more of we don't trust Ottawa. Vancouver, like I said, could get things rolling. This would be the time to do it, getting away from BC, getting on the road. But like I said, I just think this is an Ottawa team that's in disarray. This is the same old shit with Ottawa. They said, well, yeah, they beat Toronto. Okay, yeah, they always beat Toronto. They always care about that game because that's their rivalry game. They're like a college, like Northwestern. Northwestern goes and beats, Illinois, and then they can give a shit about the rest of everybody else. It's kind of the same thing with Ottawa. They come up against Toronto, they'll play well against Buffalo, and then all the games that they really should be competitive in, they just aren't. So give me Vancouver plus 120 right there with you.
Yeah, it's a good price. I mean, it's a good price. They're a good road team. They've got their own issues and flaws galore too. The Canucks. These are 2 teams that aren't exactly rolling right now. But we're laying minus 140 with one. We're getting plus 120 with the other. I know which one I'd rather have. Ryan, what do you think here? Canucks, Senators.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I like that the value on Vancouver. Ullmark hasn't been great, and I'm actually, instead of that plus 120, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take Vancouver 60-minute money line plus 180. I think they can get it done in regulation on the road, so I like that. I like the value on plus 180.
I don't know what it is, but on the road, they simplify their game so much, the Canucks. It just feels like they're connected more, when they play on the road. It certainly looked like that earlier this year when they played on the road. In their previous road trip, like I said, 6-1 away from home, and they have owned Ottawa too. By the way, 4 straight meetings. They've won 5 of the last 6 times Vancouver has beaten Ottawa. They've won 3 straight here in Ottawa as well against this Senators team. So, like I said, it's just a good spot and a good price for the Vancouver Canucks here against a vulnerable Ottawa team at this point in time. All right, Kiefer Sherwood, yes, for goal prop, absolutely. Talked about how he's getting opportunity. He's been stepping up for the Vancouver Canucks lately. Suter, I've talked about as well, but especially Kiefer Sherwood's been a nice little bright light of late here for the Vancouver Canucks, just when they need it, as far as trying to get something offensively from someone other than the usual suspects, and especially with the fact they've been without Besser for a while and now also without JT Miller. So having a guy like Kiefer Sherwood step up for the Canucks in recent games certainly helps. All right, Vegas and Montreal. We've got Vegas minus 165, road favorites, 6.5 being the total here in this game. You look at this Montreal team, and I give Marty St. Louis credit. Either I give him credit for, saying we're going to start having to play this way, or the players for buying in to the coach's message. And I think it's probably a little bit of both. But if you look at Montreal here, these last few games, 3 straight unders, playing much better defensively. After the Buffalo game is the game where Marty St. Louis said, that's enough, guys. Even though they won that game, they had been giving up 4, 5, 6 goals in so many games. We've got to play a tighter, more connected brand of hockey, especially defensively, and they have responded. Montreal. They, I know they lose 3-0 to Minnesota, but they bounce back. They beat Columbus 5-1. They shut out the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 3-0 in their last game. Very, very impressive performance. Montembeault was very strong in net, and certainly Montembeault becomes a better goalie when the players in front of him are playing a little bit better and a little bit more responsibly defensively. So again, it's just been a better defensive focus for Montreal. And to be honest with you, at 6.5, I'm leaning under tonight between Vegas and Montreal, because you look, there's been this big-time focus for Montreal to try to get this team back on track defensively, and it's resulted in them probably being a little bit under. Well, there's value right now with Montreal unders with this paradigm shift in their style that we have seen here these last 3 games. I mean, 3-0, 5-1, 3-0. Vegas, meanwhile, is off a 3-2 win against Ottawa. Their first 2 games on this road trip have gone under. 4 straight unders on the road overall for Vegas coming into this game. So this is actually a lean under for me. 6.5 here with the Golden Knights and the Canadiens. I believe it's going to be Adin Hill, and it is. Adin Hill and Samuel Montembeault in net for the respective teams here in this game. Still a lot of injuries, though, for Vegas. Obviously, they've been without Nick Hague on the blue line, Ben Hutton on the blue line, Mark Stone's on IR, and now Alex Pietrangelo on the injury report day-to-day with an upper body injury. He missed the Ottawa game. He might miss his second straight here for Vegas. The good news for Vegas is the one area they've got plenty of depth is the blue line. They do have a lot of options that they can go to Caden Korczak. I mean, there's just so many different players they could just step right in and take the spot if Pietrangelo is out again. And I think it will be Caden Korczak, because I'm seeing that right now with Theodore, McNabb, Hanifin, Whitecloud, Robert Hague, and Korczak would be the next man up. And he's played a lot of games for Vegas in the past. So you're not putting some unknown back there on the blue line. So that's the good news for Vegas, even without Alex Pietrangelo, possibly again for a second straight game. Alex, what do you think here? Vegas, Montreal.
Yeah, I lean under with you, but this is going to be a pass for me. Like I said, it's a big card, and there's just some games that just have to miss the cut. This is one of them. So it's a pass from me on here with Vegas and Montreal.
All right. What do you think here in this one, Ryan? Vegas, Montreal.
I'm the same way. I lean Vegas. I think there's value even in maybe 60-minute line look or puck line, but I'm staying off it altogether. It's just not really a great read or great feel on it. So I'm going to pass on this one and save my looks for the other games.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. I would say Nicholas Waugh for me, still worth a look for Vegas. Holtz, by the way, here's a big move. Holtz is up on the top line now with Jack Eichel and close shave Barbashev. So Alexander Holtz definitely, to me, looks like there's some good value for him as far as a potential goal prop tonight in this game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Those would be the main ones I'd be interested in for their side of the equation. Montreal's been kind of scoring by committee lately. Keep that in mind. Juraj Slafkovsky is back with Suzuki and Doc. They're trying to get him going, but boy, I did not expect him to be stuck on one goal at this stage of the season. So I think Marty St. Louis is, not to say the least, and I think Marty St. Louis is trying to get him going. But Willie is the question. There's value there. They put him up with Suzuki, the captain, and Doc, so we'll see if that gets something going. Gallagher is the one that's been, believe it or not, one of their more consistent players lately as far as finding the back of the net for the Montreal Canadiens. All right, next up, it's Utah. The Utah Hockey Club and the Pittsburgh Penguins got Utah up to minus 135 actually now in some spots. This was like minus 110 overnight, even money. So there's been some movement here towards Utah. 6.5 the total in this game. It's another system play, obviously. We've got Utah off the shutout loss to the Boston Bruins in Joe Sacco's first game behind the bench as the head coach. 1-0 loss to Boston. So clearly I like first period over and full game over. System play in effect here with Utah and Pittsburgh. But I'm on Utah here. I'm on the Hockey Club. I agree with the move, especially at minus 110. You're going to get me give me a chance to fade Pittsburgh at even money with the team with the rest advantage like Utah has against a team that's on a back-to-back here like the Pittsburgh Penguins are. I mean, to me, it was at that price, it was just, minus 110 with Utah off a shutout loss. They're still, I think, the team I trust more. Coming off, obviously, the shutout loss and the rest advantage because Pittsburgh obviously had to play last night against Winnipeg. It was a pretty clear decision for me to take Utah. Now, minus 135, I'd maybe pump the brakes just a little bit because I loved it at minus 110. There has been a price jump here on Utah, but it's still Utah or pass for me in this spot. Alex, what do you think here? Utah, Pittsburgh.
So I like Utah, but I'm going regulation. You get plus 120, plus 125. I don't like the system player though. This is one of the games where I'm staying off of the totals. I just want to roll to the side, playing a smaller side. Look here with Utah. Like I say, just can't trust Pittsburgh. I also will be back on Sidney Crosby anytime goal, not first goal, just going with an anytime goal as he looks to grab number 600.
Yeah, it's Karel Vejmelka again in net. He's been really good. Like I got to give him credit. There's been a great stretch of games for him. He's actually supplanted Ingram, and if you look in the last calendar month, he's actually been better than Ingram. And that's why he's been getting the starts here more often for Andre Tourigny of late. 4 of the last 5 starts, he has given up 2 goals or less. So that's good to see from Karel Vejmelka. Certainly been giving them some solid goaltending when, surprisingly, it's been the offense that's been very Jekyll and Hyde lately here for the Utah Hockey Club. We didn't think scoring goals was going to be an issue, but here they are now. 3 straight losses to good teams, though. Boston, maybe not so much, but Vegas and Washington before that. But 2 goals or fewer in 3 straight games and just 4 total goals in the last 3 games combined for the Utah Hockey Club. So, but I think this is, oftentimes if a team's struggling to score goals, a team like the Pittsburgh Penguins about as shoddy and soft and weak as it gets defensively in their own zone, that's usually the cure, the canal, a struggling offense. And we will see if that's the case tonight for Utah. What do you think here, Brian? Utah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I like Utah 60-minute line as well. Just a small shot, and there's a couple of small plays I like. I like Cooley anytime point, plus 115. He's a kid that's from Pittsburgh, played for the Pittsburgh Junior Pens, grew up idolizing Crosby. So probably have a lot of friends and family there. And I'm seeing on Twitter he's still in that first power play unit with Gunther, Schmaltz, Sergachev, Keller. So there's going to be some opportunities there for him to tack on a point at plus 115. It's good value. Also like taking that small shot on Crosby anytime goal just to hit the milestone. So that's what I liked earlier. I also see that Terry said I wasn't aware Cooley had 3+ shot on goals covered in 6 of 8 road games, and Pittsburgh, gives up a lot of shots. So plus 170, that's another look that I like given that information. It's a hometown kid that's, playing against his hometown team. So I think he's going to look to have a good night and want to show up for his friends and family. So I'm on those Cooley props tonight as well.
All right, there we go. Liking that's a great angle. I agree. Logan Cooley here, looking to have a great game with family, friends in attendance. Always an angle worth taking advantage of, or trying to take advantage of it from a prop standpoint. All right, St. Louis Blues and New York Islanders. Got the Islanders minus 160, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. I mean, get the Islanders in this bullshit with them as a favorite like this out of here. I mean, what are we doing? Minus 160 right now with the New York Islanders. Oh my gosh. And they're coming off a long ass road trip too. The Islanders, 5 straight on the road out west, Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle, Calgary, Then they had the one stopover in Detroit, Midwest, I guess you could say. And now here they are back home. They've lost 3 in a row. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Look, the Blues aren't playing great hockey either. They're just 4-6 in their last 10 games and off a shootout win against San Jose. But my goodness, I mean, holy shit. I mean, the Islanders minus 160 is a hard no, as they would say in Letterkenny. Not at all for me. This is just a strict price play. Have to take a little St. Louis in my pocket here in this spot. Sorokin for the Islanders confirmed in net. Binnington projected but not confirmed. Yeah, this is just with the Islanders in a state of disarray right now. I had to take a little St. Louis here, plus 140. And you know what else we had to take, of course? The Islanders. Even the Blues have played a lot of overtime shootout hockey lately as well. So the draw as well. Blues and draw for me. Alex, what do you think here? Blues, Islanders.
Small play on the draw. I don't even really like that this much. This is going to be an ugly game. I won't watch it. Just hope that my phone rings and I see that the draw has cashed. So draw plus 340 for me.
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, St. Louis, 3 of their last 5 games have gone past regulation, so they've become a nice little mini draw team as well. And it goes without saying for the Islanders. And keep in mind, too, 4 of the last 8 Islander games have gone past regulation, have cashed the draw. The last 2 losses, other than the Calgary shootout loss, the Seattle loss was 1-goal regulation loss. The Detroit game was 1-goal regulation loss in a game where it was 1 minute away from going to overtime before Lucas Raymond got that late winner for Detroit. So they've been flirting with overtime in every game, even in the games that haven't gone past regulation. So, yeah, the draw here for me. And again, we're going to look towards St. Louis just because of this price. I mean, the Islanders are not in the form of a minus 160 favorite right now. The way they're playing at this point in time. All right, we move along, and this is definitely one of the better games on tap coming up on the slate tonight. It is Dallas and Tampa Bay. We've got Dallas minus 115, road favorites. The total sitting at 6, shaded to the over here in this game. Great matchup this should be. Certainly the Dallas Stars have had a weird week. They played some cupcakes this week. Now, they lost to one of them. Against the Anaheim Ducks, but they did bounce back and take care of business against the San Jose Sharks in their last game. We'll see how they fare here tonight against Tampa Bay. They are only a 500 road team this year, Dallas. 4-4, Tampa 6-1-1 at home. We'll see if Dallas can overcome that. Tampa's off that crazy, and I mean crazy game in Columbus, 7-6 overtime loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not a very pretty night for Jonas Johansson. Clearly in between the pipes. Really, that game was just, the goalies weren't good, but it was just one of those games where once the goals started popping, it's almost like both teams got in that mindset of we just have to keep scoring with the way this game's going. And it's like defense really faltered badly for both teams as a result of that. So, like I said, going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. It's Vasilevsky and Jake Ottinger, your goaltending matchup, as you would have expected. Nick Paul, who's been a nice cog in this Lightning lineup the last couple of years. He did not play against Columbus. Said, and apparently there's, there could be at least a little bit of an absence for him. No telling if he'll be ready to go and back tonight. So keep an eye on that. He'll be missed because he's played well, certainly for this Tampa Bay team. If you look at series history, Tampa's played Dallas, believe it or not, in the regular season quite well. They've won 3 of the last 4 meetings. They have won 3 straight times here in Tampa when hosting the Dallas Stars as well. So off a loss the other night. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for Ryan Robinson and brother Matt, but I'm leaning Tampa here at this price, minus 105, coming off that loss again the other night to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like their home record. It didn't sit well with Cooper, certainly the way that game transpired. I do like Tampa a little bit here, minus 105 in this game. Alex, what do you think here? Dallas, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm on Tampa as well, unfortunately. This has been a home-dominated series. When you look back, the home team has won, and it's the 8th streak going back. So this is definitely one of those spots where I think Tampa Bay, good enough to get the win here. But I also have one of my 2 bargain bins will be coming from this game as well.
All right, there we go. A little teaser for later. A bargain bin special of the night coming up here for Alex from this Stars and Lightning. I'm very interested to see how it goes. I'm a little surprised Dallas is road favorites here. I know we love Dallas. No, we all love Dallas. We all think very highly of this team, but to be road favorites here in this game is a little surprising, especially with the strength of that home ice. Tampa's been great at home going back last year. You go back 2 years ago. This year, it's been on the road where they've had their bumps and they've had their ups and downs and their inconsistency. But, you would think you get a good, solid performance here and bounce back showing from Tampa following what happened against Columbus the other night. Ryan, what do you think here? Dallas, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I feel good about them, but I'm going to stay off the game. In terms of sides, there's some props I like. Last game, Robertson, Hintz, and Johnson got reunited, which the small sample size they had together last year, they were statistically like the best NHL line 5-on-5. So those three all had at least 2 points last game. Those three together are fire, and they're on the power play. Should be on the power play together, as well as getting a lot of opportunity 5-on-5. So now that those three have found that spark, I look for them. I like their props. I like anytime points, as well as maybe Jason Robertson anytime goal. So I'm going to be on some point props. There's a couple things I like later for the bargain bin. Also, I think I might take a small shot on Ottinger over 25.5 saves at -105. I think if they are going to win, he's going to have to be solid in net. Tampa has that first line is as good as anyone has in the league. So, and obviously their power play is lethal. So if they do want to win, Ottinger's going to have to be solid. So that's another prop that I like. But other than that, I think I'm going to stay off of betting this in sides and totals. Just enjoy it as a fan and hope that Dallas shows up.
And not freak out if things don't go well, Ryan. Very important. Matt always tells me that. Calm and level-headed. It's an 82-game season. There's going to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys. And like I've said about Dallas, none of the regular just get in the playoffs, which they will. You'd like to win the division. You'd like to be the highest seed as possible. But to be honest with you, October to April doesn't really matter that much for Dallas. You're going to be evaluated based on how you do in the playoffs. If you can get back and, in Dallas's case, break through to the conference finals as well, or break through and win the conference final, I should say, and get to the Stanley Cup. That's where the season will be a success or a failure for the Dallas Stars based on that. No question. Yeah, I mean, Marchment, Duchesne, and Seguin have been the dominant trio for the Dallas Stars in recent games. That being said, finally we saw some life from Hintz and Robertson last game, and I think they know they could be a little bit better. So it'll be interesting to see and Wyatt Johnston also got on the board, and he's not exactly carried over the great year he had last year. Stankoven's been great, certainly been piling up the points. He's been really good. But again, they do need to see some of these other lines get going, and it was nice to see Robertson and Hintz get going a little bit for Dallas. And now that was San Jose, but it was still the opponent, but it was still nice to see them get going. All right, next up, we've got Buffalo and San Jose. This is not a true late game, by the way. This is 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central, even though this game is in San Jose. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. We've got Buffalo rather, -160. Road favorites in this game. The total right now, 6 shaded to the over. Tricky spot for the Sabres. It is 3-4 on the road, back-to-back as well after the game against Anaheim last night. Not exactly ideal to want to lay -160 on the road with the Buffalo Sabres here in this game. But they are playing well. You got to give them credit. This is one of their better runs that they put together this season. I think the key for Buffalo is the defensive game has been tidy. They haven't minded playing a lower scoring brand of hockey. They've been patient, which has been great to see. How many times have we seen Buffalo just, be too eager to open up the game and really struggle because of that? We have seen that multiple times, but right now they're playing some patient hockey, especially on this road trip here out west. The 1-0 game, they didn't press for offense when they were up. They just played a good, sound, structured team defensive game, relied on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who was very good in that game. And once again, last night, UPL was very solid in the win against Anaheim last night as well. So we'll see how this one plays out here in this one. And obviously, for the Buffalo Sabres, we've got a goaltending question here tonight, because I know we're not going to see UPL. I doubt it on a back-to-back. But Devin Levi was sent back down recently. So that means James Reimer could be in line to get the start tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. And there's all kinds of storylines attached to this for James Reimer. Number one would be his first start with the Buffalo Sabres since being claimed off waivers 10 days ago from the Anaheim Ducks. And second of all, this is one of the many teams James Reimer used to play for that he would be going against, the San Jose Sharks. So does Reimer turn back the clock for one night and put up a good game? We'll see. Obviously would be excited at this opportunity. First start here with the Buffalo Sabres. So interesting to see how that plays out, assuming Reimer gets the nod. And I'm pretty sure at this point he is going to get the start. Meanwhile, for San Jose, they're always competitive lately. Mackenzie Blackwood's been better in recent games. I know they lost the last 2 games of their road trip, or the 2 games on their road trip against Dallas and St. Louis, but they were pretty competitive in both games, and they've been right there in every game, and they've got themselves a little draw magnet to them right now. 5 of the last 9 San Jose Sharks games have gone past regulation. Meanwhile, Buffalo, 3 of their last 6 games have gone past regulation. So the clear favorite bet of mine in this game is the draw. I think we've got a chance for overtime here, Sabres and Sharks. I lean San Jose, honestly. And this spot is probably a better one for them. Buffalo has dominated the Sharks, though, and nobody knows that better than Alex and I, who have talked about Buffalo dominance over San Jose, especially in San Jose for the last decade, when even horrible Buffalo teams were beating teams with Marleau and Thornton and Pavelski and Logan Couture in his prime on those San Jose teams. And Buffalo was still going in there and beating them in the Shark Tank. So I don't like San Jose enough to bet them, even though I think the spot's in their favor. Just the draw for me as of now. And even the over, I'm sketchy on it. I was leaning over, but Buffalo's trying to play tight on this road trip. Reimer is a downgrade from UPL, but for one night against his old team and his first start now with Buffalo, I could see him playing well, quite honestly. And Mackenzie Blackwood's actually played better lately, so I don't think it's a slam dunk over. So I'm lukewarm on San Jose. I'm lukewarm on the over. I like the draw, though, for sure. Alex, what do you think here? Buffalo, San Jose.
Buffalo has dominated, like you said, San Jose for well over a decade, to the tune of 29-1 the last 30 meetings. I think it might actually be something like close to 28 and 11. But when you look at San Jose at home, it's being a feisty team, and now this is Joe Thornton, ceremony night. That's going to be a full house, something that you haven't seen in San Jose in quite some time. I think this game definitely lends itself to the draw. I wouldn't touch either side because there's just a bunch of different trends that conflict and clash right up against one another. But everything points to this being a close game. So the draw at plus 370 at FanDuel, I think that's a great enough price. That's the only thing I have here is the draw.
Yeah, it'll be a great night. Great to see Joe Pavelski honored tonight. What a career. Outstanding. One of the best American-born players in my lifetime. Oh, Joe Thornton. No, it's Pavelski, is it not?
I thought it was Joe Thornton.
It's Pavelski.
Pretty sure it's Thornton.
It's really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Thornton. Okay.
Pavelski played in the Legends game too, but it was I'm pretty sure it's Thornton night.
That is Thornton night. Yeah, it's the other Joe. Yeah. We're still getting them mixed up after all these. Yeah, it's Joe Thornton. Yeah, it's Joe Thornton. Obviously, still well deserved, of course, with the great career he had. Obviously, most of it with San Jose. So yeah, no question about that. Like I said, it'll be great night there in San Jose. It'll be nice to see the building full. You're right. It's been a very long time since we have seen the building full there in the Shark Tank in San Jose. So, like I said, those ceremony nights could always go. Sometimes the home team rides the wave and they come out and storming. Sometimes it's a little bit of a lull. Yeah,
as I said, this one shouldn't be a lull. And if I were to look toward anything in game, it would be first period over because, like I said, San Jose has not, even with the debut of Macklin Celebrini, they still didn't sell out the building.
Yeah.
So that tells you if this place is going to be packed tonight, that's energy that this group hasn't really played around, right? The bulk of this group over the last 2-3 years with this rebuild have not been in a home barn that's completely filled. So that should bring some energy early.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I was leaning definitely overs tonight. But with Reimer, he might be fired up, like I said, against San Jose, one of his former teams. First start with the Sabres. Blackwood's been playing a little bit better. Buffalo's played very tight, responsible defensive hockey. First 2 on the road trip here with LA and Anaheim. So that's what there's enough factors that have me a little concerned about the over. But the first period over might be a solid angle, as you mentioned, just some energy off the hop. after the Joe Thornton ceremonies finish, and maybe that infiltrates to a faster, quicker pace, particularly early in this game in the first 20 minutes. Ryan, what do you think here? Sabres, Sharks.
Yeah, specifically for that, the reason that it's Joe Thornton night, I think I'm taking Sharks plus 140 here. I like the value. They've hung in games against good teams. They've been pesky. Celebrini's shown flashes of his elite talent. So I like the value here at plus 140. I'm also going to take a shot with San Jose team total over 2.5. As you mentioned, the building's gonna be full. There's gonna be a lot of energy in there. It's gonna be a special night. They're gonna want to get it done for a Sharks legend. So I like this spot for San Jose. So I'm gonna take a shot on them as underdogs.
I agree. I think the value is San Jose. There's no doubt. For sure, they have the rest advantage. They've played, competitive hockey lately. But Buffalo, the only concern is Buffalo's really playing well, 6-2, and they've dominated San Jose. It's hard for me to get past that. I want to take San Jose. It's hard for me to get past that Buffalo dominance in this series, and the fact they're 6-2 in their last 8 games. Like, they've played really well. This is the best stretch of hockey the Sabres have had all season coming into tonight. And we'll see if they can maintain that level here tonight in what should be a very spirited, emotional environment tonight as they honor the legend, Joe Thornton, prior to tonight's game. Yeah, Alex, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just made a decision. I'm adding my second bargain bin play out of this. I had 2 already lined up, but Connor Zary plus 360 for Calgary, that was an early one that was going to be on the list. That's now just a prop. The second bargain bin's coming for this game, though.
All right, there we go. How about that? We're going to have 2 bargain bin specials going the Ian route. Sometimes I'll give out 2 on the same show. All right, final game of this massive Saturday slate. It's the New York Rangers and the Edmonton Oilers. We've got Edmonton minus 130 home favorites, 6.5 being the total here in this game. Calvin Pickard has been confirmed in net for the Edmonton Oilers, coming off the loss, of course, to Minnesota in their last game. It was a bit of a tough spot for the Oilers. They were coming back home off the road trip in Eastern Canada, where they played Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. They lost the first 2 games of that trip, salvaged the last game against Ottawa 5-2, but they lose 5-3 at home to the Minnesota Wild in their last game, looking to bounce back here tonight against the New York Rangers. Meanwhile, you look at the Rangers. They're off their first loss of this road trip. They won against Seattle and Vancouver, but dropped a 3-2 decision to the Calgary Flames the other night. They'll be looking to bounce back. I mean, certainly with Edmonton, we're talking about a 4-7 home team this season coming into this game, a 7-2 road team for the Rangers. I like the Rangers a little bit here, plus 110. For me, Edmonton, man, it's not enough consistency from them. And I'm seeing a lot of issues now where we're suddenly getting injuries mounting. Hyman, Arvidsson, now Evan Bouchard is day-to-day and questionable for this game. You talk about already dealing with a lot of injuries on the back end, and now you're talking about maybe now losing Evan Bouchard, who's just been obviously tremendous for this Edmonton team so far this season, especially on the offensive end. I mean, not exactly what you want to see at this point in time from the Oilers, who, again, have dropped 3 of their last 4. It's Rangers off a loss. Rangers off a loss is often a pretty good time to bet them. And if you look this year, I'm looking at the past results for this Rangers team, and I see a team that's 5-0 this season off a loss. Perfect 5-0 this season off a loss. They have yet to lose 2 in a row. So I like the Rangers here plus 110. I could make a case for this draw too, but I don't like it as much as some of the other games that I do like the draw for this Saturday. Alex, what do you think here? Rangers, Oilers.
Yeah, dog draw split for me. I have the draw a little heavier, but yeah, I will grab a little bit of Rangers plus 110 with that trend off of a loss.
Well, the thing with the Rangers, Bailey, is they have the better goalie regardless of who it is, because it's not a given it's Shesterkin tonight. As we get closer to the end of this road trip here with Rangers and Oilers, and it is the end of the road trip. They go home to play St. This is the spot John Massey was bitching about, and I agree with him. I don't think this is just sour grapes as a Rangers fan. This is ridiculous. They finish this road trip. They go home to play St. Louis on Monday, and then they're back on the road for Carolina and Philly after that. How is that fair? How is that right? How is that just for the schedule makers to do that to a hockey team? It's ridiculous, totally absurd. But this is the end of the road trip. They go 3-1 on this road trip if they win tonight. But to Bailey's point, saying Rangers have the better goalie, in this game. And that's regardless of Shesterkin or Quick right now. That's the point I'm trying to get at, because Quick has been excellent in every start that he's had. So even if it is Jonathan Quick, I'm totally fine taking the Rangers in this game, because obviously he's been very good. And obviously Skinner, who's not going to be in tonight, and Calvin Pickard, who is going to start for Edmonton, they haven't been as good, that collective in net, compared to the Shesterkin and Quick tandem. So, yeah, for me, I like Rangers draw as well. What do you think here, Ryan? Rangers, Oilers?
Yeah, I like the Rangers just based off the sole fact that they're off a loss. Plus 110. They didn't play great against Calgary last game, so I like them at plus 110 here. Edmonton's coming back, looking to keep rolling after that big win against Minnesota. So it could be a little bit of a lull, but they lost. Sorry, Minnesota won, but. Sorry, I was thinking that Marc-Andre Fleury goal that was crazy that he let in, but I like the Rangers here at plus 110. I'm also going to take a look. I haven't looked too much at team totals yet, but I'm going to take a look at team totals and see if there's any value there, as well as I kind of lean. I haven't bet anything yet, but I kind of lean first period over, just given the Rangers are off a loss. They're going to look to start hot, and then obviously the firepower that the Oilers have with McDavid and those guys. So first period here might be worth a look as well.
We have a goalie reporting conflict in place here. We've got RotoWire that's telling me Calvin Pickard. We have Daily Faceoff telling me that Skinner has been confirmed in that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at goalie post, and goalie post with a tweet confirmed from Tony Bravo has Skinner. So this is a Skinner story.
He's right on top of it, Tony. He's one of the Oiler people I follow. Him and Jack Michaels is usually very good with it. So the great play-by-play voice. So if Jack has something about the Edmonton situations, it's spot on. So, but Tony as well. Tony does all their online video type for the Oilers YouTube as well. So he's on top of that. So if he's saying it's Skinner, it probably is. So, Stuart. And actually, Stuart Skinner, to be honest with you, I think he's just been just a tad bit worse, quite honestly, than Pickard. Yeah.
It's funny when I looked at the tweet and I opened. Usually I just see if goalie posts and I just go with the confirmation. Sometimes I'll click on the tweet and read it. And so I read the comments and everybody's going, "Why is Skinner getting the start?" So Oilers fans would have liked to see Pickard get this apparently too, based on just some of the comments. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Rangers have played Edmonton very well also in recent meetings. They've won 3 of the last 5, including, I believe, they've won 2 in a row in Edmonton as well. So they've played well here, making the trip to Alberta. So keep that in mind. But definitely a situation here where it should be an interesting game. And again, the Rangers yet to lose 2 games in a row so far this season. We'll see if they can keep that streak going here tonight against the Oilers. As far as props go, I'm going to mention the same players, for the Lafreniere, Will Cooley. Will Cooley's really played well for the Rangers lately. There's no doubt. And then, of course, you throw in even Capo Caco has shown you little glimpses lately of what he's picked up his game, and he's found chemistry on that line with Cooley as well. So definitely some reasons there to like those props, no question about it. Lafreniere playing with Panarin and Trocheck. And like I said, Cooley with Caco. It's been some good chemistry there. For Edmonton, Vasily Podkolzin is going to get another shot here with McDavid and Draisaitl. And they just claimed Kasperi Kapanen off waivers, and they're popping him right into the lineup here tonight. And will play along. And he actually played the other night against Minnesota too, but he's playing with the Nugent Hopkins on the second line. So you do have some value options there with Podkolzin with McDavid, and certainly Kapanen on the second line. So definitely some value with both of those Oilers if you're looking at goal props involving them here tonight. But again, the injuries are a concern. There's no doubt. They already missed Nurse badly. They're already without a couple others banged up, and now potentially Bouchard tonight being out, although it's not confirmed. It's going to be a game time decision for him. That would be a massive loss. And again, they don't have the bot. They're not Vegas. Okay, they can't lose 2-3 starting defensemen and fill the holes with adequate parts to replace those guys. So when Edmonton goes down 2 or 3 starting defensemen like they might be tonight, they just don't have the bodies, the quality of depth to replace those guys. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Thanks for joining us on this huge Saturday of NHL hockey action. And again, we also thank all of you who have joined us and signed up and subscribed as a Patreon member at patreon.com/iceguys. Just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, all the bonus content. We got exclusive live betcasts coming up in the new year. Our daily card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. So make sure you sign up and subscribe. And again, your $10 per month subscription goes a long way, of course, to supporting the show. $10 per month. Sign up now if you haven't already. The drive for 200 Patreon members is alive and well. Make sure you sign up if you haven't. Patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, we'll talk about a little bit more after the ad break, but of course, the Boston Hemp giveaway, the high holiday giveaway, the sign-up sheet is pinned at the top of the page on patreon.com/iceguys. So even if you aren't a member, you can still see that page open to the public, and you can sign up there. So that's one of the places you can get that form. But also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Got 2 days left to save 15% off at the store. Click on the redeem button at the top of the page, add everything to your cart, and 15% will be taken out at checkout. So shop now, today and tomorrow, 15% off at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, check it out. 15% off at the store. Get all that gear and merch at the Ice Guys store, as Alex said. Yes, there are actually 3 teams who have not lost twice in a row that are playing today. Carolina, Washington, and the New York Rangers, as we just talked about. Those are the 3 teams. They have yet to lose 2 in a row. The only one I really don't like or don't love of the 3 is Washington, because of New Jersey and the mom's trip, and New Jersey's dominated in Washington over the year. And I didn't love the first showing without Ovechkin for the Capitals the other night. But the other 2 I like. Carolina. Well, I like team total.
Well, I
Carolina.
was going to say, right, as we mentioned, we don't like the price of Carolina, but we like that team total. So of the 3, Rangers would be the one we like as far as side goes.
Yeah. Hurricanes, Capitals, Rangers. 3 teams in action. Off a loss today in their last game, and none of them have lost 2 in a row.
If you're looking for a parlay, that's not a bad one to take a shot with.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you could do that. If you, I would rather do that. I would rather. Yeah, I agree with that. I would rather do that, especially with Washington. Throw Washington into a parlay with Carolina and Vancouver and New York Rangers.
Yeah,
put Washington, Carolina, New York Rangers in a 3-team money line parlay. 3 teams off a loss. 3 teams that have yet to lose 2 in a row this season, and why not? It's a couple bucks. See what happens. You certainly got the good angle on your side. You got 3 good hockey teams coming off a loss, and those are angles that are tried and true that I go with in a lot of different sports: hockey, football, basketball, baseball. The elite teams, the great teams, why are they great? Because when they lose their previous game, they respond, and that's why it's always an angle I'm interested in, especially with the good teams and the best teams coming off a loss. Great stuff. All right, we got bargain bin special of the night, and we have best bets coming up in just a moment, right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Manscaped, Power Play Sportsbook, Raise Your Game, Tailgater Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
Shout out to all the great sponsors, including, of course, Boston Hemp Inc., our daily sponsor, and Betcast sponsor. 20% off using the promo code IceGuys at bostonhempinc.com. And the contest, Alex, time marches on, and chance for you to enter.
Yeah, absolutely. You got all the way until December 16th when we will announce the winners. 6 people will be getting prizes. 5 people will receive $25 gift cards from BostonHempInc.com. And one grand prize winner will get a box of some of my favorite goodies along with some prizes from Boston Hemp. It's a high holiday giveaway sponsored by Boston Hemp. Check that out now. The sign up sheet is pinned at our X page at _Ice Guys and also at the top of the Patreon page, patreon.com/Ice Guys. Even if you aren't subscribed, which you should be, but if you aren't, you can still sign up right at the top of the part of that page for all the details on the contest.
No doubt. Yeah, you certainly got plenty of time, but definitely make sure you check it out and get involved in our Ice Guys that contest, courtesy of our good friends, of course, at Boston Hemp Inc. All right, I forgot to do this before the break, so we'll do it now. We will not be on tomorrow on Sunday. With no show tomorrow, there's only one game, so we will briefly talk about the show, the one Sunday game right now, and that, of course, is the Utah Hockey Club taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, this game is on Sunday, so we'll just a brief thought on it here now. We've got, and obviously Utah plays tonight against Pittsburgh, but we've got Toronto minus 190, home favorites, 6.5 the total, shaded to the under for the game tomorrow between Utah and Toronto. Again, this is the only NHL game taking place on Sunday. What I would say right now, and obviously we'll see what happens with Utah tonight in their game against Pittsburgh, but Utah will be on a back-to-back. It'll be their third road game in 4 nights as well. Toronto's been off since Wednesday when they beat the Vegas Golden Knights at home, so a clear rest advantage and a clear scheduling advantage in this game for Toronto on Sunday night, and they continue to just win without Austin Matthews. I mean, it's just been ridiculous. They just keep finding ways to do it. The latest update is Austin Matthews is probably going to return later this week when they play Florida. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but if he indeed returns that night. But, as of right now, we'll see what happens with the Utah-Pittsburgh game, but I'd be reluctant to step in front of, even with the injuries too, because Matthews is out, Domi's out. Matthew Nyes is now going to miss this game, and he's day-to-day moving forward, and he's played great this season. So there's another key forward out. How many more forwards is this team going to lose and still find a way to overcome it? This is where the coaching comes into play and why Craig Berube has done a nice job. They just continue. They're buying into the defensive system and the structure and playing good defensively. That's what's given them a fighting chance to keep winning these games without some key players up front. And you got to credit the coaching staff and the buy-in from the players to that system. So it's tough to go against, even with the injuries. It's tough to go against Toronto, in my opinion, tomorrow. The way they've played without Matthews, the way they continue to win with these injuries, the rest advantage and the schedule significantly in their favor for this game. Doesn't mean I'll bet them because of the price, but for me, as of right now, I'll just throw it out there. I do lean to Toronto in some fashion, but again, we'll wait and see how tonight's game with Utah and Pittsburgh plays out. Any brief thought for you, Alex, on the one game on Sunday?
No, that's a lot of injuries, like you said, for Toronto to overcome. And we're talking about you still have to lay even $1.25 or $1.30 in regulation. Utah second night of back-to-backs, most likely because of Vemelka tonight. It'll be Ingram tomorrow. That's probably be a pass for me.
Ryan, any thought for you? Utah, Toronto, Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till tomorrow to see, when the props come in and stuff. But just looking at it right now, I kind of like Toronto minus 130, 60-minute line. Utah will be on a back-to-back. The Leafs will be rested at home. As you mentioned, they haven't played in a few days, so they should be fresh. So, yeah, that's just looking at it off the top of my head. I like that minus 130 value.
And I'm telling you what, prop-wise for Toronto tomorrow in that game, assuming, obviously there's no Matthew Nyes, so there's going to be some lineup shakeups. What I will tell you is Fraser Minton, he got his first NHL goal in his first game called up. Not his first NHL game. He's played in the NHL before, but it was his first game from his recent call-up, and he scored. He's going to get more ice time with these injuries. Nikita Grabenkin showed great energy in his debut the other night against Vegas. Bobby McMahon continues to be, I think, a player worth a look as long as he continues to play on the top line. So there's going to be some good prop value with Toronto opening up for this game tomorrow because of all these injuries. So definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. All right, that's your look at Utah, Toronto for Sunday. Again, we're back on Monday at noon Eastern with our next show after today. But of course, before we wrap up this Saturday show, as always, we've got Bargain Bin Special of the Night and Best Bets. Bargain Bin Special of the Night. Alex, huge card to choose from. What do you like in the bargain bin?
So we've got two. First one, we're going to the Sunshine State, Dallas and Tampa Bay. We're going to have a bagel for breakfast early. We're going to go with Brandon Hagel. First goal plus 1,400 is available at FanDuel. It's got a good feeling that he might be the guy to get the things started off for the Bolts. And then we'll also go with the late game, later start, not super late, but you got, like I said, ceremony night in San Jose. And Joe Thornton, who's his roommate? Macklin Celebrini. Of course, he's been, the electric catalyst offensively for the Sharks. I like him to score not once, but twice. Macklin Celebrini, 2 goals plus 2,100. That's available at FanDuel as well. So we're going with Brandon Hagel, first goal for Tampa Bay, plus 1,400. Macklin Celebrini, 2 goals, 2,100 for San Jose. Double bargain bin special for Saturday.
Double bargain bin. There we go. 2 bargain bin specials for Alex on this Saturday. Can you imagine if both of those hit? Holy shit. What a payday that would be. If we can get both of those home. Hagel first goal and 2 goals from Macklin Celebrini for Alex with 2 bargain bin specials on this Saturday. Ryan, what do you like for the bargain bin special?
Yeah, so kind of like Alex, I actually have 2. They're pretty much the same thing. I was back and forth. I seem to have found something that's similar to, Matt's Stefan Nason play that he takes a lot as his bargain bin. I got to go back to that Marchment Duchesne Sagan prop. They got blanked last game. I think they're going to want to bounce back, and it's been hitting consistently for me, and the couple times it's missed, 2/3 of them have got a point. One of them's right there, so it's been close every timer hit. So I really like that Marchment Duchesne Sagan point prop plus 380. The other one I like, which is pretty much the same thing, I'm going Robertson Hintz Johnston point prop plus 360. I think I was back and forth. If Tampa wants to shut down one of those lines, the other one's going to get a better matchup, maybe against Tampa's second or third line. They're all 3, Hintz, Johnson, Robertson, are on a power play unit together. Marchment, Duchesne, and Sagan are on the other power play unit together. So I think there's good value there. The 3 young kids have found their groove last game. They found the score sheet a few times. They're dynamite together, so I like them. I also can't go against that Marchment, Duchesne, Sagan line to bounce back at plus 380. So those are 2 bargain bin specials of the night that I'm taking.
All right. Well, since everyone's in the early Christmas gift giving mood of 2 bargain bin specials on this Saturday, I'm going to give out 2 as well. I'm going to go to Matt Robinson's guy because it's just still a great price, and we saw him score in the last game. Stefan Nason for New Jersey, who you can still get at a terrific price. And like I said, he's just been a terrific fit for this team. Plus 340 at FanDuel, Stefan Nason to keep his red hot form going. And we're going to go to the Utah Hockey Club, and yes, Logan Cooley, like the situation involving him tonight, plus 340 as well. Same price for him to score a goal for the Utah Hockey Club tonight. Again, with family and friends in attendance there in the Berg. Logan Cooley for Utah, plus 340. So there you go. 2, and they're both plus 340. Stefan Nason, New Jersey, Logan Cooley, Utah, for my 2 bargain bin specials of the night. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, let's go to the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. We got Boston Bruins taking on the Red Wings. I think this game's going to be a tight one, and I think it's going to go long. So give me the draw plus 350 with the Red Wings and the Bees. That's my Saturday best bet.
Boston, Detroit draw for Alex P. Smith with his best bet. Ryan, what do you like here for best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go down to the Sunshine State. I really like Florida, minus 125. I think, they haven't lost 3 in a row. They're going to come out hungry early at home. So I think they take care of business tonight against Colorado. Give me Florida, minus 125. That's my best bet.
There you go. Florida Panthers. There we go. Got to get the Panther sound out there. Minus 125. Florida against Colorado. Best bet for Ryan Robinson on this Saturday slate. My best bet for this Saturday card, I think I'm going to go to that last game. I really like it, and I trust this team more than a couple of the other teams I was thinking of as far as on the slate tonight. I'm going to go with the New York Rangers here. Plus 120 is the best price out there right now with them. I think they get the job done. And I'm already seeing money's coming in on Edmonton the last few minutes, and I got to believe it's probably Jonathan Quick confirmed in net. And they're acting like Jonathan Quick is some has-been and washed up and playing terribly, which is couldn't be further from the truth. He's been excellent this season for the Rangers. And like I said, like this bet regardless of who would be in net for the Rangers. And it looks like it's probably going to be Quick. And if it is, I'm okay with that. He's been great so far this season for the Rangers. So New York Rangers plus 120 against the Edmonton Oilers for my best bet here for this Saturday NHL card. So there you go. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat one last time. A reminder, we're not here tomorrow. So I don't want to hear anyone saying we're show at noon tomorrow. I sometimes do get that. No show on Sunday. There's just the one game, and we talked about it earlier, Utah-Toronto. We will be back on Monday, noon Eastern. And again, this week with Thanksgiving, we'll be on Monday. We'll be on Tuesday. And then we'll be on Wednesday, but we'll be off Thursday for Thanksgiving, but back on Friday. So Thursday this week, no show, in addition to no show tomorrow on Sunday.
And we might have a early start on Black Friday with the 15-game schedule. So that's possible too. So we will keep you all abreast of schedule changes on Twitter and on Patreon.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure we're going to move up the Friday show for sure to earlier in the day with all those earlys. Probably be that noon start time that we usually go with on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Exactly. Yeah, we'll probably go noon.
We pretty much have on our list weekend start or weekday start. So if we call weekend start, then that's what that means. That means noon Eastern.
Yeah, no doubt. Good stuff. Yeah, I know I'm going to get that, Max. Where's the show? Are you guys on today? Someone will ask me that tomorrow. It's bound to happen. I almost expect it at this point, even when I make the announcement like I just did that there is no show tomorrow on Sunday. But we appreciate you guys for sure. Hit the like button on the way out. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Tuesday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and Ryan Robinson, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you on Monday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.